Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine. So dear students, today we are going to revise poem 2, The Laburnum Top, written by Edward James Hughes. Okay, so this is a very beautiful poem which tells us how a tree which was earlier in still position becomes an engine when birds, sparrows came on it. So let us begin this beautiful poem. So before beginning, let us come to know about the poet. Okay, let us discuss about the poet first. So as you can see on your screen, dear students, Edward James Hughes was an English poet and children's writer. Critics frequently rank him as one of the best poets of his generation and one of the 20th century's greatest writers. He served as poet laureate from 1984 until his death. So here you can see the picture of laburnum tree and goldfinch bird. So here it can be seen the images of laburnum tree. In one picture you can see the image of laburnum tree, in the other one goldfinch bird. So what is the relation between these two things which have been showed in this image? Let us go through the poem and come to know. So what is the theme of the poem? The first three lines of the poem impress upon the reader the stillness of the laburnum tree. In the first three lines of the poem impresses upon the reader, the first three lines of the poem impress upon the reader the stillness of the laburnum tree. A small goldfinch comes and the tree bursts with movement and sound. The bird's family lodges in the thickness of the tree. The goldfinch enters the tree thickness to feed her young ones. The goldfinch enters the tree's thickness to feed her young ones and flies away. The tree becomes silent once again when the bird flies away. The poet used imagery of sound and movement to show the tree coming alive. So it is all about the poem. Now let us go through the lines of the poem and also some questions for your practice I have given in this slide. Now let us read the poem. The laburnum top is silent, quite still. In the afternoon, yellow September sunlight, a few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. Till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end, then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt. She enters the thickness and a machine starts up. of chitterings and of tremor of wings and trillings. The whole tree trembles and thrills. It's the engine of her family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her bared face identity mask. Then with eerie, delicate, whistle chirrup whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite. And the laburnum subsides to empty. So it is the poem. Now some questions for your practice. You must write down. You can also take the screenshots. Okay. So this is all about the poem. So now let us discuss some important points about the poem which we must remember. So let us discuss more about some theme of the poem, some main points of the poem and poetic devices used in the poem, and then some extract based questions, some solved questions and some questions for practice. Poem 2, The Laburnum Talk, written by Ted Hughes. Theme: the poem presents a vivid description of the laburnum tree, which comes alive as the mother of goldfinch arrives to feed its young ones. Mother is like a pivot that feeds and supports the machinery of the family. What is the main points? The poet has drawn a beautiful picture of an autumn afternoon. The laburnum tree is silent and still. Its leaves have turned yellow and some seeds have fallen. The whole tree comes to life with the arrival of the goldfinch. The poet has compared the alert, abrupt, and sleek movement of the goldfinch with a lizard. After feeding her young ones, the goldfinch flies away towards the infinite sky. The laburnum tree becomes quiet and silent once again. The poet has compared the laburnum tree with a machine which starts up at the arrival of its engine, that is goldfinch. Now, poetic devices used in this poem: simile, so sleek as a lizard. So goldfinch has been compared with a lizard, so it is simile here. Alliteration, September sunlight. It is alliteration, repetition of S. Simile, when comparison between two or more than two things is made using the words like so, as, so it is called simile. Now here more alliterations: and alert and abrupt, trees trembles, whistle chirrup whispering. So you can see in B, in A repetition of S in September sunlight, in B repetition of A, in C repetition of T, and in D repetition of W. Yes. Now metaphor. A machine starts up. Family of goldfinch has been referred to as a machine. That is why it is metaphor. Metaphor is also shows comparison Metaphor also shows comparison with what without using like, as, or so. It is implied simile. Second one, it is the engine of her family. So the gold flinch is the engine here. See, her bared face, identity mask. So the shadow of the bird's face is compared to an identity mask. So these lines, a metaphor has been used in these lines. Next one is personification. So the whole tree trembles and thrills. So here the tree has been personified. So this is personification. Now let us go through the extracts. You can also take the screenshots of these tracks, and you must practice them. The laburnum top is silent, quite still in the afternoon yellow September sunlight. A few leaves yellowing, all the seeds fallen. Which season has been now let us go through the question answer. It is not the line of the poem. So which season has been described here? Question A. So here autumn season has been described in the afternoon yellow September sunlight. Identify the poetic device in the second line. So we have just discussed in September sunlight, it is alliteration. Describe the effect of season on laburnum tree. So since it's autumn season, the leaves of tree have turned yellow and the seeds have fallen. Find out word from the extract which mean not moving quiet. So still means not moving and silent means quiet. Till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. Then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness and a machine starts up, chitterings and a tremor of wings and trillings. Now, let us go through the question and answers. What does she refer to? So, she refers to the goldfinch. Which poetic device or devices have been used in the third line? So, it is slike as a lizard. So, it is comparison using as. So, it is simile and alliteration and alert and abrupt. So simile and alliteration have been used. What has she been compared to and why? So the goldfinch has been compared to a lizard because its movement is quick and alert while trying to find way to the nest. Identify the literary device used in second last line. Explain it. So metaphor, a machine starts up. The family of goldfinch has been referred to here as a machine. With the arrival of the goldfinch, its young ones fill the tree with movements and sounds. Which words have been used by the poet to describe the sudden startlement on the laburnum tree? Chitterings, tremor of wings, and trillings. So these words have been used to express the movement in the tree. Next, the whole tree trembles and thrills. It is the engine of her family. She strokes its full, then flirts out of the branch and showing her bared face identity mask. Then, with the eerie, delicate, official chirp whispering, she launches away towards the infinite, and laburnum subsides to empty. Identify the figure of speech in the first line. So we have discussed all the poetic devices, so you know very well. It is personification. The whole tree trembles and thrills. So the laburnum tree has been attributed with the human-like qualities. It appears to be making voluntary movement. So when any non-living things is given the qualities of living things, quality has been attributed with human qualities, so it is personification. So that is why here the tree has been personified. Which poetic device has been used in the second line? So it is metaphor. It is the engine of her family. So who is engine? So the goldfinch is the engine of her family as it stirs to its life and fills the tree with movements and various sounds. What is the meaning of she stokes it full? So the goldfinch has perhaps brought food to feed its young ones, which has filled her family with excitement and energy. Identify the literary device used in the fourth line. So it is a metaphor showing its bared identity face mask and show on the face of goldfinch has been referred to as a mask. We already have also discussed. Find out word from the extract which means bizarre and mysterious. So that is eerie. Which sound from the extract can be replaced with sky? So that is infinite. So it's all about the poem, dear students. So all these questions you must note down in your notebook, and the important points, the main points of the poem which we must remember in the poem. So dear students, once I told you that NCERT has issued the audio book, so you must go through that audio book. It is very helpful to improve the pronunciation and how we can read the lessons in a proper rise and fall, in a proper rhythm. It has been given. So today I am going to show you how it works. So dear student, let me show you how you can download these audio books. So first in Google you have to type NCERT audio book. Then you have to click on ciet.nic.in, or you can directly use type this one in your Google Chrome. Okay, then this page will open. So here you will find audio books of all the classes, primary, grade 6, 7, 8. So you have to click on 11, and now these are the subjects. So only the audio books of Hornbill in English available as of now. So in snapshot also will be available. Okay, very soon it will also be available as CBSE is keep updating this site. So the poem Laburnum Top. So you can download. You can also directly play from here. Either you can download or you can play. Okay. So then, dear students, you have to just simply click on play. Here you can see the play button. If you will play this way, it will start playing.
The Laburnum Top, a poem by Ted Hughes. The laburnum top is silent, quite still. In the afternoon yellow September sunlight, a few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen, till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. Then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness and a machine starts up, of chitterings and a tremor of wings and trillings. The whole tree trembles and thrills. It is the engine of a family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. Then, with eerie, delicate whistle chirrup whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty.
Laburnum, a short tree with hanging branches, yellow flowers, and poisonous seeds. Goldfinch, a small singing bird with yellow feathers on its wings.
Page 32. Find out. 1. What laburnum is called in your language? 2. Which local bird is like the goldfinch? Think it out. 1. What do you notice about the beginning and the ending of the poem? 2. To what is the bird's movement compared? What is the basis for the comparison? 3. Why is the image of the engine evoked by the poet? 4. What do you like most about the poem? 5. What does the phrase her barred face identity mask mean? Note down. 1. The sound words. 2. The movement words. 3. The dominant color in the poem. List the following. 1. Words which describe sleek, alert, and abrupt. 2. Words with the sound ch as in chart and tr as in trembles in the poem. 3. Other sounds that occur frequently in the poem. Thinking about language. Look for some other poem on a bird or a tree in English or any other language. Try this out. Write 4 lines in verse form on any tree that you see around you. Page. This poem has been placed after text which has references to names of plants for thematic sequencing. Understanding the poem. 1. Glossing of laburnum and goldfinch. 2. Factual understanding. 3. Movement of thought and structuring. For example, poetic sensitivity. 4. Focus on figures of speech and imagery used. For example, poetic sensitivity. 5. Attention to sounds, lexical collocations. For example, poetic sensitivity. Thinking about language. Finding equivalents in other languages, which is known as multilingualism. 2. Relating to thematically similar poems in other languages. 2. Relating to thematically similar poems in other languages. Multilingualism. 3. Attempt at creativity.
You were just listening to this chapter. It was presented by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.
Okay, dear students, so you have seen how we can play an audio book and we can listen to it. So you had better to keep open your book, while listening to this audio. Just use the mic earphone and open book, open the chapter, keep it in front of you and just play the audio and listen to this audio book. So it is really going to help you to improve the pronunciation and how to read the poem, how to read the prose in a proper rhythm, in a proper rise and fall, you can also learn. So here you can see, dear students, all not only English, other subjects also have been given. Okay, so you can choose any chapter. Okay, an audio book is available here. Next poem I am going to play for you, that is the photograph. So I hope you will enjoy it.
Page 11. A Photograph. Poem by Shirley Towson.
The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went pedaling, each one holding one of my mother's hands. And she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Some 20, 30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. See Betty and Dolly, she would say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. The sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter, both wry with the labored ease of loss. Now she'd been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and of this circumstance there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences.
The following words from the context. Paddling, transient. Now, look up the dictionary to see if your inference is right. Page 12. Think it out. 1. What does the word cardboard denote in the poem? Why has this word been used? 2. What has the camera captured? 3. What has not changed over the years? Does this suggest something to you? 4. The poet's mother laughed at the snapshot. What did this laugh indicate? 5. What is the meaning of the line? Both wry with the labored ease of loss. 6. What does this circumstance refer to? 7. The three stanzas depict three different phases. What are they? Notes. Poems are included to heighten students' sensitivity to literary writing and to appreciate rhythm and sound patterns in language. Follow these steps. 1. Read the poem aloud once without the students looking at the poem. Ask them a few general questions. 2. Reread the poem with the students looking at the poem. Ask a few more questions to check comprehension. 3. Ask students to read the poem silently and answer the questions given, first orally and then in writing. 4. The poem A Photograph is placed after the portrait of a lady because of the thematic relation between the two. The questions seek to examine factual and inferential comprehension, establish empathy, and draw attention to the structure of the poem and choice of words.
You were just listening to this chapter. It was presented by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.
Okay, so dear students, you can also download this audio from here. If you click on three dots, so you will find the download button. So thus you can download also. You can listen to the audio, and I hope you will enjoy it a lot. It is very helpful for each and every student. So thank you students for watching the video. See you tomorrow in the next video.